So, a viewer was asking to see the like warning lights and everything on this. On mine, the buzzer has been disconnected, which I am actually rather happy about. And you can see here, mine's got the on position, and then you turn it over to the bulb check where it'll just illuminate all the lights there. And then when you start it up, they all go out unless, you know, one of them is active. On the 4-in-1 controls, there's just simply a extra lever next to the loader control here. Anyways, so if I push forward on the lever, opens the 4-in-1, pull back on it, closes it. So forward, open, rear is closed. And it's got hard lines on the back of the bucket here with just short little rubber sections running there. And it's got one cutting edge on the front part here, and then another cutting edge on the frame, which is quite handy because you can use the frame of the bucket sort of as like a dozer blade. You can actually scrape the ground with it pretty well. But so rubber lines to hard lines, and then the valve body is down in here, and there's just linkage that runs from the valve body down in here up to the controls in the cab. And it's just simply an extra spool valve in there to control the 4-in-1. What do you think? Hard life? Yeah. Sucks being you. But so, because I've got the extra controls on front here, like the extra hydraulic controls, what I want to do is I want to get a quick coupler for the front of this thing. Because obviously this bucket is pinned directly onto the loader assembly, so I cannot easily remove this. Holy shit, look at that. So yeah, I cannot easily remove the bucket, but because I have the extra hydraulics, what I think I'm gonna do is get a hydraulic quick coupler for the front of it. Come on. And then I'll have quick connects on here so that if this bucket is on the coupler, I can just quick connect on there and then run the hydraulic cylinders. And then if I take this bucket off, then I don't envision myself needing hydraulics for any other attachment that I would put on here, except maybe like a grapple or something. And then I could use those hydraulics to run the locking pins for the quick coupler. So, because I'd really like to have a standard bucket, not a 4-in-1, because, you know, as with anything that's like a Swiss Army knife, you know, a Swiss Army knife is a shitty pair of scissors, it's a shitty knife, it's a, you know, shitty whatever else. It'd be nice to have a dedicated like light material bucket for snow and that kind of stuff, and then pallet fork attachments and other shit like that. And two, also I put a piece of 1-inch plate on the front here, and then drilled and tapped a bunch of holes in it, and over welded the crap out of it just because reasons. But I use the pintle hitch for a push bar for pushing vehicles in and out of the shop, and then it's also just a good place to, you know, hook a strap or rope to or whatever. And then the reason that I have the plate drilled and tapped on there is so that I can either take the pintle hitch off or put on any other attachment that I feel like making in the future. I don't really have an idea of what else I'd want to put on there, but now I got options. Happy pup. I guess I should add too, though, that how I was saying about the 4-in-1, that they're kind of like a Swiss Army knife. These buckets, so if I had a choice of two machines where one had a 4-in-1 on the front of it and one had, you know, a standard bucket on the front of it, like a single piece bucket, I would absolutely want to get the one that had the 4-in-1, assuming that the rest of the machine was in good shape, like that both of the machines were otherwise identical and whatnot. These things are freaking awesome. I love these buckets. But you know, they are a trade-off. This one here on this machine weighs 1,600 pounds, where I think the quote-unquote heavy-duty single-piece bucket, I think John Deere calls it, is like 650 or 700 pounds or something. So these are a good bit heavier, which can be a benefit or a problem depending on what you're doing. You know, the sides on these are, I don't know, probably 1/2 inch or something, and you know, they're built pretty heavy and whatnot. So if you're wanting to pick up the maximum weight that you can, it's a problem. If you're wanting, you know, ballast weight on the front of the machine, then it's a really good thing. So it's not that the 4-in-1 is bad or nothing. It's just, you know, everything in life is a trade-off. For having a pinned on bucket, I definitely want a 4-in-1, but like I said, I do want to get a quick coupler on here and be able to swap out as I wish, because these are relatively low yardage. I think they're only like 1 yard or something. For shit like snow or whatever, it would be really nice to have, you know, say like a 2-yard bucket or something. And if you're just moving snow around, then there's no reason for the bucket to be built this heavy. And these hooks on the front here are for the like pallet fork attachment, if you want to call it that. I don't actually have a bar for it at the moment, but I've got the forks, but not the bar, because when I got the machine, the bar was twisted like a pretzel. So yeah, if you got pallet forks on the front and the hooks, and you're trying to pick up as much weight as you can, with this bucket on here, you've got an extra 1,600 pounds hanging on the front of the machine that takes away from your lift capacity. If I get a quick coupler, then I can build myself or buy or whatever a pallet fork attachment that would probably only weigh like 300 pounds or something. So you know, that would increase my lift capacity on the front a whole hell of a lot. Right? But yeah, I guess I just want to put that in there, that these are not at all bad buckets. There's just trade-offs.